My name is Vasilis. I'm a forester and I field research at the Society of Protection of Biodiversity of Thrace. When the fire had started, it was burning with so much intensity and power, if I can say that. There was a huge cloud of smoke. It was like a bomb dropped, like for real. Like when you grow up and you were watching those photographs on school books about the mushroom clouds from a bomb or an atomic bomb or something. It was a small version of that, and it was I don't know. I didn't thought it would be difficult to talk about it, but I think it is because it burned for 21 days, and it was literally 21 days of watching devastation. Watching the fire progress and just destroying everything in its path. Like literally everything. It was like a torture. Watching it. After the fire, everything was black in a huge radius, and it was really horrifying. I mean, even the fumes were slowly burning in the distance, and it was a very hard image to swallow. Watching all this region, all this beautiful region from one day to another, from being completely green to black, and ash covering everything, just ash. The smell was horrible. It was there for months, and a lot of people from the village who didn't have, let's say, experience or training. I also didn't have any training, at all. I volunteered with my own accord. We were going in the night with hand tools and stuff like that. But it's easier to fight the fire in the night because there is much more humidity. The intensity of the fire kind of drops, so it's safer to approach it. In certain situations, it's impossible to approach it. It was progressing like crazy, and it depends on the type of vegetation it has. In a dry field, like you probably saw some once before you arrived in the village, it can spread like flying. It's so dry and it spreads very fast. Then it depends on the kind of vegetation you have. Conifer trees, especially pines, we have here they burn easily. And we also had the kind of bush that has some oils inside that is very, very flammable. That's also one of the reasons that the fire was so intense in some parts. I took 1 or 2 days, like a break, let's say, and I was at home. And as soon as I started to, let's say, ease my mind, I still had the mental images of the fire progressing and burning. It was really a terrifying experience overall, and it was very scary, not scary, I was like in a shock and awe after that, because seeing the destruction that the fire can create and cause, and seeing then combined with the aftermath of it, I think it's an experience you never forget. I am scared because this year hasn't been, we haven't seen a lot of rain as well, like last year. And it's what I told you, everything is connected to the climate change. So, I mean, you can imagine it, an area with no water and everything is dry, it's easier to burn. So that's my biggest fear, to be honest. How dry the summers and winters, that's an important thing. Even the winter was dry. How dry and hot the summers will be, and how many more starts of wildfire we're gonna have in Greece. Because okay, now we have 19th of June. We already have some outbreaks. So, I mean, one will get away, and then I don't know how big of a disaster would happen. Make the vegetation less thicker, less thick, thinner than it is. That's also something you do in the winter. Maintain the roads properly. Also something you should do in the winter or spring or autumn, not during the fire, because I see that with my eyes as well. They were trying to maintain the road 2 days before the fire started. It was random, but they started doing it on August, and after 2 or 3 days, the fire started. I mean, you can. I don't need to say anything else. You know, you can think about it or how this sounds. And you can also do a method which is prohibited in here. Right now, they want to try to change it. You can fight fire with fire. If you use a map and you can see where the fire is headed, you can stop it by putting another fire, so it will meet the burned area and it will stop. It won't have anything to progress, because that's it, it progresses. It finds material and it burns and it goes on. But it's very tricky. It needs a lot of experience because it might get away and you can create a really horrible situation. That's why it's prohibited in Greece. But that's also a one good technique you can use, and it's very effective. If you do it right, you're gonna stop the fire.